Hello students, in this video I will continue preparation of the alcohols. In the previous video I discussed preparation of alcohols from alkenes, then from carbonyl compounds on reduction. That was reduction of aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids. Right? Now third one we are going to prepare alcohols from carbonyl compounds and Grignard reagents. What are carbonyl compounds? Carbonyl compounds are those compounds which contain carbon oxygen double bond in them. It can be aldehyde, it can be ketone. Okay. And Grignard reagents have general formula RMgX. RMgX. Alkyl magnesium halide or halide or aryl magnesium halide. Now see here, between carbon and oxygen, carbon is electropositive and oxygen is electronegative, right? Similarly, the Grignard reagent is a charged species. We have got delta minus and delta plus, plus and minus, polar substance. Now what will happen? The R minus being nucleophile easily attack the positive carbon atom. Then the magnesium halide part goes to the oxygen and double bond becomes single bond. Therefore, we are going to get an addition product. So, carbon has got two bonds as usual given in the reactant. Then double bond becomes single bond. This will be O minus. This will attract the positive part, that is MgX positive part. Then the Grignard reagents R part, alkyl group, goes to the carbon atom. This is known as the addition product or adduct. It is known as an addition product or adduct. Now I should get alcohol from here, correct? We can prepare primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, tertiary alcohol using aldehydes and ketones. So now it is treated with the acid medium or simply carry out hydrolysis. When we carry out hydrolysis, okay, the negative part will take the positive of the water molecule and the positive part will take the negative of the water molecule. So getting hydrolyzed, okay, to give the product OH and attach the R. Then we get a magnesium salt, magnesium valency 2, right? One is the halogen, other one is the OH, which can be written as the Mg, OH and X, correct? Now depending on the groups here attach the carbon, we can get primary alcohol, secondary alcohol and tertiary alcohol. Clear? Now, what are the carbonyl compounds I am going to take up to prepare primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, tertiary alcohol? Okay. We have got aldehyde is a CHO group, aldehyde group. General formula is RCHO. Then ketones have formula R, C, O and R. This is ketones. Now let me take two different types of the aldehydes. Let hydrogen be there in place of R. Then C double bond OH. This is known as the formaldehyde. This is called as the formaldehyde. Known as the formaldehyde. That's the common name. IUP's name is with one carbon atom, methane. Remove that E and introduce aldehyde R, methanol. Then CH3, C double bond OH. This is the acetaldehyde. This is known as the acetaldehyde. This is called as the acetaldehyde. Okay. How many carbon atoms are there? There are two carbon atoms. Therefore, should be ethanol, ethane. Remove that E, introduce Al, ethanol. Clear? Similarly, let me go for ketone. Ketones have got CH3, C double bond O and CH3 ketones. And this ketone is called the acetone, correct? Used for as a solvent for nail polish remover. Okay, acetone. It is also called as the propanone, 3 carbon atom ketone, ONE, propanone. Propane, remove E, introduce a ketone, ONE, propanone. Now when I am going to write, I will be writing three types of the compounds to prepare primary, secondary, tertiary. So this will remain as such. And instead of CH3, I will be writing in general R. where R is not equal to hydrogen, other aldehyde, other than formaldehyde. And in the case of acetones, I'm going to write in general RCOR. Okay. I need not always make use of CH3. It can be ethyl, it can be propyl. So that's why I'm going to write in general R groups. Remember, R in both these cases not equal to hydrogen atom. Okay, clear? So remember, before I start with, let me tell you, formaldehyde gives you primary alcohol, other aldehydes gives you secondary alcohol, and ketones always gives you tertiary alcohol. Clear? So let me start now. Let me start with the formaldehyde. Formaldehyde formula HC. Okay, HC. Double bond OH. Formaldehyde. Okay. Or let me write the IUP's name. This is called as the methanol. This is methanol. Okay. Now, it reacts with the Grignard reagent. Let me write Grignard reagent as R-MgX. Okay. I'm writing R dash because in next example, second and third example, they will be writing R groups on the aldehydes and ketones. So let me write R dash MgX. This is the Grignard reagent. Let me write GR, Grignard reagent. Okay. Now, the Grignard R dash will go to the carbon atom. Double bond becomes single bond. Then remaining MgX will go to the oxygen here. So we'll get an addition product and adduct. Hydrogen, carbon, single bond O, MgX, then hydrogen here, then the R dash group. Correct? This is an adduct. Adduct is the addition product. So reactants and reagents 1 plus 1 gives only one product added. These two compounds added to give single product, adduct, addition product, addition reaction. Then this is subjected to hydrolysis to give H, C, H, here it is the R dash, it will be OH, and the magnesium salt MgOHX. Okay, so this I can write it as R dash CH2OH. Correct? OH attached to a carbon atom. This carbon atom is directly attached to only one carbon atom, but you have written here in terms of R dash. So this is the primary alcohol. Remember, with the formaldehyde, we always get the primary alcohol. Clear? Right? Now let me go for the second aldehyde. Second aldehyde, let it be RCHO in general. It is a, you have to assume here, it is a aldehyde other than the methanol or formaldehyde, other than methanol. Okay? So let me write R is not equal to HF, any other aldehyde. Correct? Clear? So this is the other aldehyde. Make it react to the Grignard reagent R-MgX. R-MgX. Okay? Clear? Now we have got R dash going to the carbon atom. Magnesium halide will go to the oxygen. Double bond becomes single bond. R, C, O, M, G, X. Then hydrogen attached and it is the R dash here. Clear? Now, subjected to the hydrolysis, reacts to the water. This is an adduct, addition product. Okay. So we'll get now R, C, H, here it is the R dash, here it is the OH. And next part, magnesium salt, Mg, OH and X. Right? So this I'll write it as the R, C, R dash, correct? Carbon, hydrogen together, let me write here. Then it is OH. Correct? Here, in this case, alcohol is attached to a carbon atom. This carbon atom directly attached to two more carbon atoms. Therefore, it is a secondary alcohol. This is the secondary alcohol. Clear? Remember, other aldehydes always gives a secondary alcohol. Right? Now, how to prepare tertiary alcohol? To prepare tertiary alcohols, we have to take the ketones. Let me take ketones in general R, C, double bond O and R. This is the ketone. Okay. This is the ketone we are going to take. Let R is not equal to hydrogen. If R's are equal to hydrogen, it is again formaldehyde methanol. Okay, right? So react with the Grignard reagent RMgX. Clear? The let me write R dash. Let me write R dash here. The Grignard reagent alkyl goes to the carbon atom. Remaining part will go to the oxygen atom. Correct? To give R, C, R dash. Then we have got O, M, G, X. Then attached to the R. I have written here interchange. So R dash here, so it will be R dash here. This is the R now. Okay. Let me write the same orientation. R and R, R and R. This is R dash here. This is subjected to hydrolysis. What is this called as now? This is known as what? This is known as an adduct. This is called as an adduct, addition product. So we'll get now R, C, R and then R dash attached to the OH. Plus we'll get a magnesium salt, MgOH and halogen attached. Now see here, the carbon carrying the functional group OH attached to the 3 more carbon atom directly. Therefore it is a tertiary alcohol. This is the tertiary alcohol. Right? Clear? Now let us summarize. Whenever I take formaldehyde, what is the other name of formaldehyde? Other name of formaldehyde is methanol. That is the IUPAC's name. Whenever I take a formaldehyde with the Grignard reagent, GR stands for Grignard reagent. It gives always primary alcohol. It gives primary alcohol. That means it is after the acidification or hydrolysis. Okay, so let it be point number 1 Grignard reagent, then followed by the hydrolysis process. Okay, clear? Now if I take other aldehydes, any other aldehyde other than which one, methanol or formaldehyde, so what I'll get, I'll always get secondary alcohol. Okay, right? Now we have got ketones. Ketones on Grignard reagent followed by the acidification or hydrolysis gives always a tertiary alcohol. So these are the preparations of the alcohols. Okay, we have started with the alkenes, then carbonyl compounds on reduction, and third one are the carbonyl compound plus Grignard reagents. Clear? Right. So we are done with the preparation parts. Now we'll see two commercially important alcohols in day-to-day life. I'm going to deal with the manufacture of those alcohols. One is of methyl alcohol, other one is the ethyl alcohol. Correct? So the next topic would be commercially important alcohols. Commercially important alcohols. Now what are the two commercially important alcohols? One is called as the methyl alcohol. Okay. Other one is the ethyl alcohol. Correct? Ethyl alcohol. What is the IUPAC's name of methyl alcohol? It is a methanol. Okay. Formula is a CH3OH. And ethyl alcohol is a ethanol. C2H5OH. Or it can be written as a CH3CH2OH. Okay. There are some names, commercial names are given. Okay. Methanol is also called as the wood spirit. Okay. It is called the wood spirit because it can be obtained from the woods. Okay. And this is called as the grain spirit. It can be obtained from the grain spirit. Okay. Grains, barley, all those things, grains can. You can also prepare from fruits like grapes can prepare, alcohols can be prepared. So it is called the grain spirit. Okay. Both looks like colorless. Both are colorless. Okay. Only the smell will let you know which one is a methyl alcohol and which one is a ethyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol is odorless. There is no smell. And ethyl alcohol gives one kind of smell. Okay. Alcoholic smell. We can make out. Okay. Without drinking it. Right. So let us see now the manufacture of these alcohols, commercial scale. Right. And at the end of my video, I am going to present you how to prepare, how to make alcohol, that is ethyl alcohol at home. Okay. So that method also I am going to explain here. That is there in the syllabus, how it is prepared from sugar or sucrose can prepare. Right. So let us see the first one, methanol or methyl alcohol. So methanol. Okay, we have got methanol now. Methanol formula is a CH3OH, right? CH3OH. Clear? Now, this methanol is also called as wood spirit. Why it is called as wood spirit now? Okay, long back it was distilled from wood because we are subjected to the destructive distillation of wood. Destructive distillation of wood. Destructive distillation of wood. Okay, without the oxygen it is. Okay, without the oxygen it is distilled. Wood is distilled. We'll get a mixture of compound. We can get methyl alcohol, we can get acetone, we get acetic acid, we get mixture from this wood. Okay, you know that wood is an organic matter. After that, it is a fractional distilled to get different fractions of components. Okay, one of the component is a methyl alcohol. Since it is obtained from the wood, it is called the wood spirit. Okay, spirit generally represent alcohol. Clear? Now we'll see how it is manufactured nowadays. It is manufactured by hydrogenation of carbon monoxide. Hydrogenation of carbon monoxide. Hydrogenation of carbon monoxide. CO is carbon monoxide. Process is very simple. Looks like very simple process. Carbon monoxide is hydrogenated. Hydrogenated means hydrogen gas is passed. To give methyl alcohol formula is a CH3OH. Right? Clear? Now, how many hydrogens are there here? 4. I need actually 2 moles. You know that the composition of CO and H2 is also called as the water gas. Hydrogen chapter. Water gas. Which means water gas is hydrogenated. Whenever there is a hydrogenation, generally we make use of the catalyst, correct? Hydrogen along with the palladium, nickel, catalyst and all. But in this case, to prepare methyl alcohol, we go for a specific catalyst, that is a zinc oxide catalyst mixed with the chromium oxide, Cr2O3. Then pressure should be very high, around 200 atmosphere to 300 atmosphere. Okay, both are gases, they should be reacting with each other to give methyl alcohol, which is a liquid. Then the temperature should be 573 to around 673 Kelvin. Carbon monoxide reacts with hydrogen gas in the presence of zinc oxide, chromium oxide, 200 to 300 atmosphere, 570 to 673 Kelvin to get methyl alcohol. This is known as the methyl alcohol. Right? This is the commercial method. Now we'll see the what are the properties associated with the methyl alcohol. Let us see the boiling point. Boiling point of alcohol is 337 Kelvin, which is around 64 degrees centigrade. And methyl alcohol is poisonous. We are not supposed to drink this one. All alcohols are not meant for drinking purpose. Only ethyl alcohol is meant for drinking purpose. And other alcohol will cause some hazardous health issues. Now here, this is poisonous. Even if you drink about 5 ml, what will happen? It will lead to blindness. It will lead to the blindness. Okay? And excess will lead to the death. Excess will lead to the death. Okay? Now, when I say all these problems, where it is used? Generally used as a solvents. Used as a solvents in paints. Solvents in paints. Okay? Solvents in paints. Then in varnishes. In varnishes. Or in making formaldehyde, okay, making formaldehyde. So chemically there are many uses, okay, to prepare other kind of organic compounds. Clear? Right? So this is about the methanol. Right? Now let us go for the ethyl alcohol, manufacture of ethanol. Ethanol is the ethyl alcohol. Ethyl part is the C2H5, ethyl alcohol OH group, ethanol. Correct? Now it is prepared in larger scales. We can prepare at home wine. How wine is prepared? Wine can be prepared from the sucrose or sugar. Okay, using grapes and all. We can add grapes. Grapes contain sugar. Okay, right? Now, how to manufacture in the large scale? Generally, it is obtained from fermentation of sugars. Fermentation of sugars. Fermentation of sugars. Okay, fermentation of sugars. What do you mean by sugar? Sugar is nothing but sucrose actually. Whatever sugar we take, it is actually sucrose. Sucrose is a carbohydrate with the formula C12H22O11. What is fermentation process? Fermentation process is nothing but the release of the carbon dioxide in the absence of air. In the absence of air. Okay, absence of air. Air should not get into it. Suppose air gets into it, then alcohol formed can be oxidized. Can be oxidized. Okay, you know that ethanol is a primary alcohol. Primary alcohol on oxidation gives acetic acid. So acetic acid will spoil the taste of the alcoholic beverages or alcohol. Okay, so let us start with the manufacture of ethyl alcohol using sucrose by the fermentation process, and at the end of my class I will be presenting you the video. Okay, clear? So same method is explained there, that is made at home, and this is the industrial process I'm going to explain, right? Clear? So let us start with the sugars. Okay, now generally what we do is in industry they'll not take sugars, they'll not take sugar. Okay, so what they do is now we can manufacture sugar. When you manufacture sugar, we get their molasses. We get molasses. Okay, what is molasses? Molasses is nothing but when you manufacture sugar, we get sugar crystals. Sugar crystals are what? Sugar crystals are Sugar crystals are solids. Once you get the solid, some liquid is remaining because the sugar is obtained from sugarcane juice. Now, in the sugarcane juice, we get sucrose. Sucrose, that is sugar, it is separated, solid separated. We get a filtrate. This filtrate is known as the molasses. And this filtrate contains large amount of sugar dissolved. Large amount of sugar. Large amount of sugar is present here. It also contains large amount of sugar. But in the which form? It is the liquid form. But it is not thrown out. What is done is from this we can prepare alcohol. Not only from molasses, we can also prepare from fruits. Okay, we can also prepare fruits. Okay, and especially from the grapes. We can also make use of corn and other things. Okay, right? So let us start with the manufacture of the ethyl alcohol from molasses. Molasses contain sugar. Sugar is nothing but sucrose. Sucrose formula C12 C12 H22O11. Okay. So there are two steps. This is the first step now. Step number 1. This is a sucrose. First, sucrose is hydrolyzed. Hydrolysis means reaction to water. Bond breaks. So this large amount of sugar, whatever is there, it is highly concentrated and it is diluted. First it dilutes the water. Again, there only the hydrolysis takes place. Okay. To give two types of the compound. One is glucose and fructose. We get glucose and fructose. Okay, in the same step. Glucose formula C6H12O6. Here also C6H12O6, which means glucose and fructose have got same molecular formula. They are isomers actually, but the functional groups are different. They are functional isomers. Reaction will not take place simply by adding water. Okay, we have to use one enzyme called as the invertase. For this you have to make use of yeast and all. Okay, yeast. For this reaction we require yeast. Okay, yeast is a biological substance which contains enzymes. Okay, enzyme will actually carry out these reactions. Or sucrose can be hydrolyzed using hot water. It easily gives glucose and fructose. Okay. Now this is the first step. What is the second step? Step number 2. Step number 2 is this either glucose or fructose. Either glucose or fructose. I'll write GF. Okay. Formula is same C6H12O6. Okay. Now yeast is added, which contains zymase as the enzyme. Enzymes are biocatalyst. Okay. Enzymes are the biocatalyst. They are made up of proteins. These enzymes. Okay. Now here we have got glucose or fructose. This will undergo fermentation process. Fermentation. Okay. And especially for this reaction, the air should not get into the mixture. Now what we'll get? We'll get ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. Ethyl alcohol C2H5OH and carbon dioxide is a CO2. Carbon dioxide is a gas. Escapes out. Okay. So to balance the equation, I require 2 moles. We require 2 moles and 2 moles here. Equation balanced. Right. Now here, how much of ethyl alcohol we get? We use large amount of water. Correct. Very dilute. We'll get only 14% of alcohol. Not more than that. Suppose the percentage alcohol increases more than the 14%, then what will happen? That alcohol found will affect the enzyme zymase. Zymase become inactive. Suppose the percentage will increases to more than 14%. Okay, so this is the dilute alcohol we are going to get. This dilute alcohol is then distilled and to get finally 100% pure alcohol, which is required for the industries. Otherwise, we can have different concentrations. Okay, yeah. So what will happen now? The action of zymase is inhibited once the percentage of alcohol exceeds 14%. Moreover, oxygen should not be going into the mixture here. Suppose if O2 mixes with the alcohol, then what will happen? Alcohol getting oxidized to give ethanoic acid, that is the acetic acid. Ethanoic acid. Okay, ethanoic acid nothing but the acetic acid. Okay, acetic acid. Clear? Now we'll go for the general ideas about the alcohol, that is about the boiling point, all those things. Okay, so boiling point of alcohol is 351 Kelvin. 351 Kelvin, or in terms of degree centigrade, it is 75 degrees centigrade. Okay, it is used as a solvent. It is used as a solvent in industries. Solvent for paints, mainly for paints. It is solvent for paints. Okay, then manufacture of other substance, organic compound, and manufacture of other organic compounds. When I say solvent for paints, industries, correct? In industry, there are many workers are there, laborers are there, right? They should not drink this alcohol, which is meant for industrial purpose. Clear? Therefore, what they do is they will destroy the nature of, or they make the alcohol unfit for drinking purpose. What they do is they'll add copper sulfate into the alcohol to give blue color. So looking at the blue color, it is meant that it is not for drinking purpose. It is for industrial process, only for reactions. So alcohol generally, industrial alcohol generally mixed with the copper sulfate to give blue color. Also they mix pyridine here. They mix pyridine. Pyridine is the organic compound. Remember, pyridine is the organic compound. Okay, and it has got bad smell. But these extra compound will not affect the reactions there. Okay, depending on the reactions, they will take care of all this. Now what is there? Copper sulfate is there, pyridine is there. Therefore, actual nature of alcohol is lost. Therefore, this mixture is called as the denatured alcohol. Nature is lost. Denatured alcohol. What is the denatured alcohol? Denatured alcohol is mixture of alcohol mixed with the copper sulfate and pyridine. Okay, which is unfit for drinking purpose. Unfit for drinking purpose. Okay, drinking purpose. Clear? So that's all for today's video, right? And we'll continue in the next video the reactions of the alcohols. Clear? Thank you.
So first you're going to have to start off with a bowl and a scale. You're going to want to use about 0.25 kilograms of sugar per 1 liter of the total volume of your final wash. Remember that adding sugar to water changes the volume, so it's important to note that it's the 1 liter of the final wash and not 1 liter of water you plan to use. If you want to do a 4 liter wash like I did in this video, I only used about 3.4 liters of water to do it. However, my final projected volume is 4 liters, so I weigh out about 1 kilogram of sugar. I don't show this step, but before you start, you should clean and sterilize everything you plan to use using sodium metabisulfite, which is readily available at your local brewing store. So once you've done sterilizing everything, including the pot you plan to boil the water in, add about 2 liters of water. The amount of water you use obviously depends on how much sugar you have. Once the water is hot, start adding your sugar. Keep the heat on with a lot of stirring and keep adding your sugar until it is all fully dissolved and the solution is nice and clear. It is okay if the solution is a little bit cloudy as long as there's no evident undissolved sugar. If there is still a little bit of sugar left over, even though the water is pretty much boiling, you can add a little bit more of the distilled water. Once all the sugar is fully dissolved, remove the pot from the heat and allow the solution to cool down a little bit. The next step is to transfer the sugar solution to the fermentation vessel, but if it's too hot, it can either crack the glass or melt plastic. Once the solution is cooled down until it's warm or only slightly hot to the touch, using a funnel, add it to your fermentation vessel. You can see here that I spilled some over the sides, so be prepared for a nice sticky sugar mess. It is very important that you let the sugar solution cool to room temperature before proceeding to the next step. Next, you need to prepare your yeast according to the instructions on the back of the packet. I used twice the amount of water as it said to use on the back of the packet because I plan to rehydrate 2 packets of yeast in the same container. Again, this container that you're rehydrating the yeast in, it is also important to have this one sterilized as well. A lot of the yeast packets say to use water that is about 40 degrees Celsius. I use a thermometer to ensure accuracy, but it's probably completely unnecessary. I'm fairly certain that you can get away just using lukewarm water. Just be certain not to make it too hot, because if the water's too hot, it can kill the yeast. After both packets have been added, stir the yeast suspension and allow it to sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. It is extremely important that you don't let the yeast sit here for more than 45 minutes. This is why it's important to cool your sugar solution to room temperature before proceeding to this step, because you can't add yeast to hot water. To test if your yeast is alive and working, sprinkle some sugar in and mix it around. If your yeast are alive and working, it will start producing quite a bit of foam. Now your yeast are ready to add to the sugar solution. And now using a funnel, pour your yeast into your fermentation vessel. I added about 500 milliliters of water off camera prior to adding the yeast. After adding the yeast, you should top off the wash to the volume that you want. Next, using a sterilized spoon or stick, mix the suspension thoroughly. The final important last step is to add the airlock. Add the appropriate amount of water depending on the airlock design that you chose. The airlock lets CO2 out but doesn't let air in. This maintains an oxygenless environment for the yeast to live in. It is extremely important that the environment that the yeast is in is oxygenless, otherwise it won't produce alcohol. You could optionally monitor your alcohol fermentation by measuring the specific gravity of the sugar solution, which is useful if you're trying to obtain a target alcohol percentage. However, we're looking to try to get the most alcohol production as possible, which is going to be near the end of the fermentation. The easiest way for you to monitor this fermentation is to simply monitor the production of CO2 gas. After an hour, it should speed up to be this quick or even faster. Near the end, the CO2 production should almost stop. So for a week or two, store it somewhere dark and cool and check on it later. After a few weeks, this is what your solution might look like. There's a lot of yeast in suspension, but this is perfectly fine if you plan to distill it. Optionally, you can add a clearing agent and wait a day or two, and your wash might look like this afterwards, much clearer. If you plan to drink your wash, you can add some activated charcoal to clean it up, but I don't think it's going to taste very good either way. You can test the alcohol percentage of your sugar wash by buying a meter from the brewing store. The next step for me is to build a homemade pot still and distill off the ethanol.